right. So how do I manage my mental health? And like I said earlier, it all depends because sometimes it shows up so differently. There are times when I'm navigating a natural flow of what happens to, well, every female have an idea. At that time when you have your cycle, your body, well, the way how I say it is my body really kicks my ass. And sometimes you just feel really down and out of it for absolutely no reason. And I have something that I track my cycle with. So I have an idea what is going on with my body in any given moment. So whenever I feel like I'm having a day where I don't wanna be bothered, I don't feel like getting out of bed or whatever the case is, I usually allow myself to feel those feelings because at the end of the day, pretending that you're not feeling it is just making it even worse. So I allow myself to feel whatever feeling that I feel, whatever feeling comes up. I allow myself to feel it, and then always start my day with a nice, as cold as I could take it, shower, because it really does help to wake you up. So that's one of the things that I do to manage my mental health. It's important for you to get outside. That's the second thing. There's something about being outside, not just in the daylight. And not, I mean, for me, I could be outside any time of the day and it really helps because it doesn't matter what the sky looks like, whether it's cloudy, whether it's dark, whether it's bright. I enjoy it at any given moment. So there are times when I'm not usually an early morning person unless I am going on very, very early. But there are times when there are a few times when I indulge in getting out of bed by 7 so I could just come outside and sit in the sun. I just sit and enjoy the birds and listen to them sing, watch them fly around, and for me, it helps to take me out of my head and just observe what is going on around me in nature. So that is the second thing that I do that I find really, really, it helps me a lot. And like at the end of the day, one of the things that I do sometimes, even if it's 10 o'clock, I live in an area where I'm not scared to come outside. I don't necessarily have to come outside and be beyond my gate. I could just come outside, walk around my building, and just feel the cool air on my skin. It really helps to kind of like zen me out. So by the time I come in and I decide to relax, I feel really good. So there's so many things that I could suggest that work for me, and there's some days, like I said, it it shows up differently every time because I can't do the same thing every time, you know. And one of the things that I like to do as well, sometimes I do nothing. I do absolutely nothing. If I don't even turn on the TV, I don't turn on the radio, just be there, just be quiet. And in my quiet moments, I am very conscious of my thoughts because I could tell you one thing. You could drive yourself insane with your own thought. You don't need nobody else to help you with that. You just, I mean, the one thing is like, I was never trained as a mental health professional, but the one thing I have observed over the years is this. I can't tell you when it happened and when it was that I made that first observation, but of course, you see people in the street and you see people walking, talking to themselves, and you observe them. And one day it dawned on me, you know what? Our minds are very, very fragile. And all it really takes is you to feed one negative thought. And as there's this gentleman that I listen to on YouTube, he's called Sabguru. He said, if you understand how powerful your thoughts are, you wouldn't be creating nightmares for yourself. He totally cracks me up with a bit the way how he put things out there. So he says, if you understand how powerful your thoughts was, you would stop creating those nightmares and those horror movies in your mind, and you could use that same thought process to create the most magnificent um, situations. You could create the most romantic experiences and the most adventurous experiences by just what you choose. So the first thing that I will recommend is that you be mindful of your thoughts. Don't believe everything you think and don't believe everything you feel. So those are some of the things that has helped me over the years, and for me, I have been navigating, as I like to say, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And this has not started for me just in the pandemic, because I stopped working in 2008, and between 2000, not 2008, sorry, 2018 February is the last time I worked on a job where I know for sure at the end of the month I was getting a certain amount of money. So I've been navigating my getting back into the freelance game from 2018. For most of 2019, I was away dealing with my dad, who had a massive stroke. So I was home for a little while. So the first half of 2019 went into being, I mean, even though I was just away from home for like about, I think, a month or 6 weeks, for me being gone that long, it's a challenge, because when I come back, it's like I have to start all over again to get back into the game, blah blah blah. And then when I started to feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, 2019, end of 2019 into 2020, and back in the pandemic. So for me, I felt almost very grateful for the journey, for me, because I think it started from, for me, oh, stop saying for me. It started in 2019 because I found myself having to navigate a lot of situations that I wasn't accustomed to. So my favorite, I think the lesson for me by the end of 2019 was learning to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's what it was. So fast forward into 2020, when everything like shut down, and we have to kind of just get used to this new normal. It wasn't necessarily like getting used to a new normal, because getting used to it on a different level, because now, when in 2019 you were free to move around, and you could just go to the movies, and you could go visit a friend, you could go outside and thing. 2019 was a whole other 2020, sorry, was a whole other situation to get adjusted to and adapt to. So one of the things that has helped me a lot, getting into my car and taking a drive, or going for a walk, like I said, being outdoor. And then when I, like for the days when I couldn't go outdoor, I stayed inside, I read, I I don't really watch TV, but I use the opportunity to get myself familiarized with other parts of the world. Because if you can only get out of your head and experience what other people is experiencing. I mean, I've been to so many different countries. I learn about the Maasai women. I think they're somewhere off the coast of Tanzania, somewhere out there. And if you see how these people have to navigate life, it will make you so grateful that you were born in this part of the world. Because think about no running water. You can turn on the tap and just take a shower anytime you want. They recycle water in some cases. The women work just as hard as the men. So on seeing those programs, it really helped to kind of put me in a place where I don't go into a pity party because of my situation. I believe that God always navigates our lives for us, even when we are not aware of it. It's like He puts us in the right situation with the right people. So whenever you're going through your challenge, you have the right people around you, and that is so, so, so important. So on the down days, how do I pick myself up? I try my best not to get into my head and not to stay in my head for too long. And that, I could tell you, is something, is very, very powerful. I do journal, and I remember having to deal with a situation recently, because it's so, so easy to get lost in your thoughts and how you think stuff is happening, right? And you get all caught up with all these different thoughts, and the reason why things are not happening the way how you want it to is because of somebody else, blah blah blah. But not knowing that everything is happening in the right time, in the right moment, even though it may feel like nothing is happening, something is always happening. And you always, what I learned is that you have to trust the process, even when you're not seeing and when you're not hearing. God is always working it out, because when you think about creation, for example, like you put a seed in the ground, you don't hear it, and for a very long time you don't see it. It just appears, you know. I have the perfect example outside of my house right now, because I'm living in this area and in this particular apartment for, well, this is going on 13 years. And since I'm here, we had this huge avocado tree that fell. So my landlord decided that he's going to uproot it and he's going to get a miniature one. So he got a miniature tree. And honestly, I cannot tell you how it happened, but there's a huge tree outside of my house right now. And that wasn't always there. So I'm sharing that to say, I mean, for me, observing nature is the one thing that has helped me a lot to stay in the moment and understand that, guess what, this is not your final destination. Everything is going to change. Things are always shifting, even though you don't see it and even though you don't feel it. And it's important for you to not think the worst of a situation if it's not manifesting the way how you want it to and any timing that you want it to happen. We have to remember that God is in charge of all things, and his timing is the best timing, and his timing is always perfect. So those are little things, and maybe definitely writing is something that has helped me a whole lot. And I have had days when I allow myself to succumb to not wanting to get out of bed. You know, I get out of bed and I do the basics and I just get back in. So if I feel like that's what I need to do for a day or two, guess what? I'm gonna do that. And trust me, when I get off that bed after 2 days, war break. You know, I'm ready to roll. So sometimes you have to allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling. And like I said, at the same time, not allowing yourself to sink or to go under, because you have to be very cautious of your thoughts. So what I do in those moments is, like, I always have something running in the background, whether it's something inspirational, so I don't get carried away in my own thoughts. So I'm going to just take a pause and I'm going to catch up with you to see what you have shared so far. And I know Gloria is not the only one outside. Gloria, yeah, true talk, when I went to India and certain parts of South Africa, I felt very grateful being in this part of the globe. I tell you, it is such a blessing. When you look and you see how children have to travel to school, these children walking for 3 hours. And I mean, as a parent, I don't know how I would deal with that, because there was this one, I think it's in Nepal, the course that they had to walk through this waterfall and walk through a section that they refer to as Snake Valley, and some of them have to cross over this river on a pulley, like something like a pulley line. It is crazy to observe how other people have to live and how they navigate life, and everybody, well, they don't have a choice, because you know they have to do what they have to do, and everybody just going about their business happy like pappy and thing. So, oh, Aviva is in St. Lucia. I'm not sure if you're still there, but thank you for sharing. Thank you, Nicole, for popping in. I appreciate that you popped by for a few minutes. Thank you, Michelle Sobers, for popping in, even if you're not there still. And Camila, I'm not sure if you're still there. I appreciate that you guys are sharing. And I have one question for everybody who's here. How is your ability to keep still? Because that is one area, if you can master the art of being still, it really does help a lot, because we are going through a situation where None of us have any control of how things go, when it's going to be open, how it's going to turn out. The only thing we have control over is our immune, is everything that happens within us, and not so much what happens around us. What we could do around us is to make sure that we keep our atmosphere always light. When I say always light, clear out your clutter. Make sure the space is clean. I always light, if it's not a scented candle, I light some incense, or I mix my own oils, and I usually have this spray, because scent is something that helps to lift you up. You know, if you have a lot of clutter in your room that you spend, I keep at least one room as clear as possible. The room that I spend most of my time in is the room that I keep less clutter in, because I want to, when I go into that space, I want to be able to look around and feel good about the environment that I'm in. So it's another thing that, you know, you take for granted. The Your surroundings. Your surroundings is very, very important. You know, so keep your surroundings clear, keep it light, keep it breezy. And I absolutely cannot survive in a space that don't have natural light. Natural light is it for me. I have to have natural light, because it does something to your psyche, and it really does help to whether lift your mood, or help to sink you in further. So I think it's important for you to develop an intimate relationship with yourself, so you can learn what works for you, because like I'm not an expert. I mean, everything don't work for everybody, and everybody navigating different things at different seasons. And like I said, the same things don't always work for me at the same time. Sometimes I want to hear music, and another time I don't want to hear anything. I just want it to be very, very quiet. So right now, what I have playing some of the track, and I don't necessarily want to hear music with words, you know. And then another time I want to hear music, I want to be able to dance, because there's something about you getting up and moving your body. It helps to wake you up, and it helps to keep you alive, and it seems as though it helps to shift things as well. So sometimes movement is good. So right now, I know you can't hear my background music, but right now I'm listening to a track from, it's called Buddha Bar, and it have this kind of exotic oriental kind of vibe to it. It makes me feel like if I'm on a beach in Bali or some exotic place, and I absolutely love that I can listen to music, and it can take me places. I enjoy that a lot. So like, yeah, like Gloria says, yoga, practice meditation. Meditation is it, because there are a lot of people who don't know how to meditate. So it's not everybody will you know, be able to handle that. So if meditation works for you, then that is amazing. I mean, I do meditation as well too, but I sometimes it's just like to keep still. And another thing is your breathing. Breathing is so important. Breathing intentionally. Sometimes it's like your thoughts, for me, my thoughts feel like it has just clogged my whole body. When I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I get over this particular situation? How do I manage it? Who do I call? It's like somebody I listened to today, and it says, don't feel frustrated when you're going through a particular season where you feel as though it's like your own mind is attacking you. Allow yourself to feel that, because and get excited about it, because guess what? Beyond that, there will always be clarity. And you have to try. For me, I think it's important for you to always be aware of your thoughts, so you don't get so far in that you don't have that clarity to get clear direction when it's time for you to do what you need to do. So for me, I tend to not go overboard. I tend to not try to, you know, sometimes you have a situation, and you will be the one to talk yourself through the worst, like talk yourself into the worst scenario by just thinking about stuff, thinking about what the other person gonna say, thinking about what the other person probably doing, and sometimes the other person don't even know, and even have no time with you, you know. So those are the things that helps to kind of keep you going down, because you're always thinking about, oh my God, I wonder what this person gonna say. I want this person must think I so whatever the case is, and you put yourself in a funk unnecessarily. So I personally, when I'm in a situation where I know that I need to do certain things and it's beyond my capability, I do two things. I reach out and I communicate with the person. Like, for example, because of the pandemic, of course, not working every day and not earning consistently, I'm behind on my rent. Rather than speculating, I think my landlord must be saying, guess what? I can call him and I'm going to say XYZ ABC. This is the case. That puts my mind at ease, because I communicated with him what my situation is, and we had a conversation about how we're gonna do it, how we're gonna deal with it going forward, and that puts my mind at ease. So I don't have to engage in thinking about what the other person's saying or what the other person doing. So that is one suggestion. Face it, face whatever it is head on. Don't sit down and engage yourself into thinking what is not actually happening, because that is going to only help to send you deeper into despair. So it's important for you to communicate. And when you there, and like after you finish communicating, because there are things that it naturally affects the ego part of our beings. I could tell you, not earning consistently, it sometimes makes me feel worthless, one, and it makes me feel incompetent. So what do I need to do to get rid of those feelings? Because it's not true. So that's why I said earlier, don't believe everything you hear, don't believe everything you feel, don't believe everything you think, because it's not true. So sit down with your journal and you write. Release whatever feelings of whatever negative feelings you may have about yourself. Release it, write about it, and then you write the truth. I am somebody who's responsible. I take care of my responsibilities. It's not my fault that I'm in this situation right now. I release myself from any guilt or shame. So those are just some of the little things that I really do to help to keep myself mentally there. And I could tell you, spirituality is like the number one, because I honestly cannot even begin to fathom how, if I wasn't grounded spiritually, how would I have dealt with this situation? How would I have navigated? And I know for sure that my ability to stay calm is definitely one of my superpowers. I've heard about this a very long time ago. You know, yes, Erla. So important to confront the situation rather than just sit down and speculate what it's about. So confront it, because at the end of the day, we're all grown people, and ain't nobody cutting your ass unless you decide to get in a fight. And I mean, when you confront the situations, now you're confronting it in a confrontational way. Hey, Alicia, thank you for joining us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I have two more things that I want to leave you with. And right, I think I did mention this, that our thoughts, the unchecked thoughts, is like a runaway train. So always, from today onwards, if you're not mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of it. And then, because guess what, sometimes, for example, how many times have you walked into a room and maybe somebody will look at you a particular way, and the first thing you went after thinking, oh, I wonder why she looking at me like that, or why he looking at me like that, he must be da, 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 da. And you go off now having people, as Yara Van Zandt say, you have people paying rent, living rent free in your head, because you're there and you're coming up with all these different scenarios in your head as to why this person is looking at you like that. And sometimes the person is even oblivious to the fact that you're even there. So we have to always, always, always be mindful of our thoughts, because at the end of the day, the best thing you could do for yourself is to stay present in any given moment. And I'm learning right now to embrace the fact that I am exactly where I need to be. So I stop asking God, why is it I'm not here? Why is it I'm here? Why is this? Why is it that? Anytime something happens, my first question is, okay, what is the lesson in this? What am I supposed to learn? Who do I need to talk to fix this situation? And I give myself a few minutes, sometimes not even minutes, within a few seconds, the idea already download. Somebody, the person who you're thinking about contacting, contact you. So you always have to keep your space very, very clear. Always try to stay calm. Always try to keep yourself centered, because at the end of the day, the only control I have is here. I have been to the supermarket before, and I guess sometimes there are days when I'm off balance, because if I know I have $500 or $600 to spend, and I could pick up what I need to pick up and it come under that. And then there are other times, based on how I feel, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna just get what I feel I need to get. And by the time I finish getting what I feel I need to get, I mean, it has happened to me more than once. But in that moment, I don't care about all those people around me who's watching, because guess what? They don't know my situation. One, they're entitled to speculate what they want to speculate to. That's their entitlement. But guess what? I am the one who decides how I feel. I could only feel shame about a situation if I allow myself to feel shame. So those are some, because you see, this last year or so, it has been very, very liberating, because in a lot of ways it the playing field is very even. So I remember thinking that I have the power to choose how I feel at any given moment. Nobody else have that, and I'm not going to give up that power. So in sharing all of that, I hope that something I said would have resonated with you and would have helped you, because I mean, the season is not over. We're still going through it, and I'm looking and I'm seeing the numbers are still going up, and I personally am doing what I need to do. I am washing my hands, I'm wearing my mask or my face shield, and I'm doing my best not to get caught up in the negativity of it. Thank you, Tracy. Blessings of love and light to you too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm happy to see you, that you popped on. And so, yeah, so I've been here now for about an hour, I think. And I am going to definitely, I know for sure the guest that I have lined up for next week, she's going to be phenomenal. And I am so excited about talking to her and bringing some ideas from her, because this whole month I really want to talk about, like, stay focused on the whole concept of mental health and how we navigate it, and how, some of the things that we could do. Yes, Gloria, we are the rulers of our minds, and we ought to take full control. Yep, a long time ago, I read a book, and it says one of the blessings that we have as human beings, because God, when He created other creatures, He didn't create them with the power to choose. So we are unique beings as human beings, and having as spiritual beings having a human experience. We have the power to choose, and I always am aware of the fact that, you know what, this is within me. I no longer get myself involved in situations that make me feel uncomfortable. I love people. I love the people who enjoy reaching out to me whenever they have a problem. But when I'm in a space where I personally don't feel well, guess what? I don't take the calls and I don't respond to messages. It's not that I will ignore you completely, but at the end of the day, I have to take care of me first before I could take care of anybody else. So I have my thing where I am very, I'm no longer a slave to my phone. Let's put it that way. Even with I love what I do. I enjoy my work completely. But the thing that helps, that I don't enjoy, is I don't enjoy when I have to explain to you why you need to pay me a certain amount of money for my time and my talent. I don't enjoy that part. So I stopped engaging in those kinds of feedback. I am open to working with people who's on a budget, But I don't like unreasonable people, and there are a lot of unreasonable people out there. So when it comes to my work, I would refuse a job if I feel like it's going to be a problem. If you calling me at the last minute and you want me to be in a particular place at a particular time at an ungodly hour, and you don't understand that that comes with a special fee attached, then I'm not even going to engage you because I don't need the stress. Even in my relationship, it's, I guess I shared with my partner more than once. I say, in this season, let's make it our utmost effort to just give each other the best versions of ourselves. You bring your best self to the table, and I will bring my best self to the table, because in this season, I am not navigating dramatic relationships, whether it's my romantic partner or friendships. I am eliminating everything that does not work for me in this season, because the most important thing is for me to stay in my head and stay, I'm not saying in my head, stay in my mind, stay in my body, stay centered, stay calm, stay peaceful in this moment, so that when we get beyond here, I'm whole and healthy to reap the benefits of everything that I planted, and in this time of nothing much happening, you know. So I may not be earning money, but my time is well spent. Even doing this, you know, I really do look forward to coming here every week and having conversations with you guys. And I mean, I honestly don't know where it will lead, but I enjoy talking to you guys. And I really do hope that whenever I sit here and I share from a personal space, that I'm also shedding light for somebody as well. So that's why I hope that, you know, I kind of push you guys. I want you to be interactive and whatever. So I think on that note, I want to say, I think one more thing. Right. I think basically I've covered everything right that I had made a note. Right. And you know what? I didn't even make this. I just looked up at the top of the page and I saw something that I could leave with you guys, because I'm always making notes of different things. And I just looked, and at the top of the page it says, you don't just wake up and become a butterfly. Growth is a process. So in this particular season, I believe some of us are going to be um, are navigating our way through becoming the most exotic butterflies. So we have to go through it, and we have to feel the squeeze, and we have to go through the uncertainty of the season, and we have to trust the process. So for now, I think that's going to be it. For those of you who don't know, I am Paula D'Souza again. And please remember to check me out. I am on YouTube. I would love if you could pop over and visit my YouTube channel at Paula D'Souza TV. Paula with two L's, P-U-L-L-A. Paula D'Souza TV. Please hit the subscribe button. Please share. Please like, so that the, what is it called, the algorithm can pick me up. And I do share from time to time the links every time. As a matter of fact, every time I share, every time I have a new post, I share it on my page, but I don't think the algorithm allow you to see it. So sometimes visit my wall and check out my blogs, and you know, yeah. So I talk about all kinds of different things. So I will, before I go, if everybody who's still here, if you guys could drop what is your takeaway from this particular evening, I will be really grateful. And also will help to encourage me to know if you guys are receiving. I'm not doing this to get praise, but it will be nice to have feedback, because like I always say, I'm trying not to do a monologue. I really want to do a dialogue, and I would love to hear what you have to say. What is your takeaway? What is one takeaway from this particular topic that we have that we spoke about? So in the meantime, I just want to say thank you for sharing a little bit of your Wednesday evening with me. I really enjoy having you here. Look forward to having this conversation with you every single week. Next week, I'm going to have an amazing lady chatting with her, and we are going to get down to some really delicious, juicy insights as to how to take care of yourself. And so, with if there isn't anything else, I would love to say thanks again. Have a safe and beautiful evening. Yeah, so I'm gonna look out for your feedback, and do share. Share. We'll talk soon. Have a great rest of the night. Have a great rest of the week. And remember to be safe, okay? Love and blessings. Mwah.